Simplifying complex numbers is very similar to simplifying any other type of fraction. Let's start off by taking a look at a basic fraction, 24 over 18. In order to simplify this, we need to look for a common factor between the numerator and the denominator. So, thinking about 24 and 18, we have a common factor of 6. 24 is 6 times 4. 18 is 6 times 3. So the common factor of 6 appears in both the numerator and the denominator, which means that you can divide 6 out of the numerator and out of the denominator and be left with the fraction 4/3. If our fraction is a little more complex, something like 12x plus 36 over 8. We're going to be looking for a common factor between the numerator and the denominator, but you have to keep in mind that this numerator is tied together. You cannot just divide something out of the 12x and the 8, or just out of the 36 and the 8. It has to be divided out of both pieces. So we essentially are looking for a common factor between 12, 36, and 8. The only thing that is a factor of all of those is 4. So 4 times 3x plus 4 times 4 times 9 over 4 times 2 is an equivalent way to write the initial fraction. We've just broken down each piece into 4 times its other factor. So looking at the fraction, now we have a common factor of 4 between each piece in the numerator and the denominator. That common factor of 4 can be divided out, and we're left with the fraction 3x plus 9 divided by 2. That's the simplified form of our fraction. Simplifying fractions with complex numbers works much the same way. Suppose we had the complex number 8 plus 6i, and we want to simplify that by the denominator 12. So 8 plus 6i divided by 12. We're going to look for a common factor between the numerator and the denominator. Well, in the numerator, we have 8 and 6i. So the only thing that I can think of that is a factor of both of those is 2. And 2 is also a factor of our denominator 12. So we can think of 8 as 2 times 4. We can think of 6i as 2 times 3i. And we can think of 12 as 2 times 6. So we have a common factor of 2 between the numerator and the denominator. That can be divided out, and it leaves us with 4 plus 3i over 6. Keep in mind you cannot reduce the 3i over 6 because it does not have that common factor of 3 with the 4. This is our simplified form. One more example here. Suppose we were to have 4i over 30i. We're going to look for the same thing, a common factor between the numerator and the denominator, and our common factor again is 2. 4 is the same as 2 times 2, and we have the I. 30 is the same as 2 times 15, and then we have our I. So we have a common factor of 2 between the numerator and denominator that can be divided out. We also have another common factor here. Because there is an I in both the numerator and the denominator, that I can be divided out, and it leaves us with 2 over 15 as the simplified form.